What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm your host, Brian Costa, and today we have a fantastic episode in store for you guys. As I've mentioned on the show many times, I try to get multiple, different types of guests on the show. I've had athletes, like Curtis Rochelow, the shot put thrower at the University of Hartford. I've had some Bryant basketball players like Adam Alita and Michael Green III. And today I'm kind of expanding my horizons. Today I'm going over back into the world of TikTok. As you know, I recently interviewed baseball analyst. I'm unfortunately he doesn't want to say his name yet, but goes by Joel for short right now. But currently on the program with me today is a TikToker who I've been following for some time now. He's grown rapidly in the time that I have followed him, and his name is Elijah Boivin. Elijah, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. So, kind of getting into it. I mean, I probably followed your account maybe, probably when you're maybe like under 50,000 or
Oh,
so,
really?
followers. Yeah, I caught you kind of early. I don't know if like the Mass House or like one of those other TikTok
Mm.
channels maybe reposted one of the things that you put up, but I caught you kind of early because, you're making some, Boston sports content. But
Yeah.
before I kind of get into it with you, maybe explain to the audience a little bit about yourself so I don't have to do so much. I'll let you take it away.
All right. I'm Elijah, like you said, and basically, like, for the past, I'd say early pandemic is when I started doing TikTok. So, like, probably for like the past like year or so, a little over.
Yeah.
Um, I just been trying to come up with like New England and like mass content on TikTok, and it's taken off, and I'm extremely fortunate for it.
Yeah. I will say this, like I don't know if this is just how the TikTok algorithm works, but I really feel like Massachusetts and New England content just dominates. Now that could just be like where we are situated in where we are in the United States, and New Jersey content or Florida
Yeah,
content could be off the rails, but I mean we still see that too, but I feel like New England like runs TikTok, which is like absolutely insane.
it's
Have
like,
you kind of
yeah.
noticed that too?
A little bit, a little bit. I don't like I have a like one of my best friends lives out in Kansas, and he was like talking. I was playing Xbox Live with him, and he was like, "Oh, my girlfriend just sent me like one of your TikToks or whatever, like one of her friends sent it." And like they're out in Kansas and they were like seeing something and it was like, "All right." And he was like, "Dude, you made the algorithm. You got it." So I was like, "Cool."
you
But
broke
that
you
stuff
broke
just
through.
goes, yeah, exactly. And like that stuff just went so far over my head. Like I have no idea how it works.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've definitely seen just like a ton of New England stuff, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, like I'll see someone will just be like, "Yo, Massachusetts the best state," and then you look at the comments, it's just like absolutely, and like the likes just soar through the roof. It's like, well, you found the algorithm, you
Yeah.
broke the system.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Every time
Oh
I
yeah,
open my phone, like that's what it is. It's just like a mass thing. And I was like, all right.
yeah, it's like absolutely, like that's it. It's basically what works. From what I can tell, again, these may be specific to me just because of my interest. I'll notice New England, specifically Massachusetts, and then baseball will come up too. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay. Like for some
Yeah.
reason, baseball also just rules that app too. And while I know that app, I know well some people will say the app is, for little kids. Here's the thing: when you get the algorithm to work in your favor, there are enjoyable things on it, like
Oh,
like
for
yourself
sure.
on there.
For
It's
sure.
just it's just the time of when you log into the app, you have to just go through all the through all the
Yeah.
other channels, and eventually it weeds out and you get the content that you're more into, like yourself. But kind of getting into it, you were kind of a where did you kind of come up with the idea? Like when did you say, during COVID, hey, I think I'm gonna get into TikTok here? Like when did that kind of like come into your mind?
So I was sitting home one day and I specifically just remember being absolutely miserable because like I couldn't go to work and like
Yeah.
granted, I'm not a huge fan of going to my job like, most people, but like I still need something to do. It gets me out of the house. It gives me
Oh yeah.
structure. So like I was just sitting there and I was like absolutely miserable. My anxiety was high, like paranoid about everything going on in the world as far as like the pandemic goes. And I just remember being like, you know what, screw it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm getting TikTok. So I like downloaded TikTok. And like the first night that I had it, it was probably like I was on there for like 4 or 5 hours, just like scrolling. I realized like I looked at the clock, it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, oh my God, this is
Gotta
gonna
go
be
to
an issue.
bed. Yeah.
So I started just like watching stuff. And then like a week later, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put something out there. So I did. And that's like kind of how it started. But that was like I was just bored. I was anxious and that's just I guess I don't even know. That was the equation, I guess. Just bored and anxious equals TikTok.
I'd probably say the same thing because I think for me, I think my brother was like posting things and I just wanted to see what he was doing so I could just send him to my friends so we could make fun of him because like he wasn't making like actual content. He was just doing like funny dance duets with his friends just to be like he was doing it to make fun of the people that were actually like doing the dances and he was sending it. So I was just like I went on there originally and I was just sending them to my friends. I was just like, oh, what a loser. I was like he was like 15 at the time. I'm just like, what a joke.
But
and
hey,
then and then I
it got you on
downloaded.
there.
Oh no, I caught on to it, and there
Yeah.
are plenty of things on there that are entertaining to me. And as I mentioned previously, I met a baseball analyst through there who I'm gonna probably be having on my next show too, which is
Sick.
it's great. There's plenty of great guys on there who know their stuff, and it's awesome to see. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean,
no, there's yeah.
oh, go ahead, my bad.
Oh, I was just gonna say like absolutely like 100% wide variety of just like you can find anything on there. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. No, you put in any hashtag, there's a community for it. It's not even like you're gonna find a TikTok. There's a full-on community for it. I'm like, oh my God. And like sometimes though, I'm just like people will like the weirdest things on there. Like,
oh yeah,
like there were these guys for a long time. They wanted to move like this giant boulder, and like they would post constant updates about posting it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know
And
exactly what you're talking about.
they literally said though, if we don't move it by June 1st, we're gonna like you can unfollow us. And I was just like, and then it got to June 1st. I checked back in on their account. They still haven't moved that damn rock.
I mean, it's hard. I can't imagine it'd be like an easy task.
I mean, I'm seeing them out there. They're with sledgehammers hammering away at this boulder. So I'm just like, I'm not discounting the fact that you're probably not trying, but I'm just like, you said June 1st of last year, and it's. So
you
I'm just like,
knock someone with a passion though. That's the thing. Like if you're keeping at it, good for you. Like
oh yeah,
physical
100%.
activity and everything. It's crazy.
No, yeah. So I mean, for yourself, you amassed like a massive following, in kind of a quick amount of time. Like, I mean, I was kind of saying earlier, I remember like checking in on your account and you had like 30,000 followers, and I was like, oh, this guy's like blown up. And then I was thinking like about getting on the show. I look at your account, I'm like, holy crap, he has 100,000 followers. Like, when did it hit you like that? Like, when did things like really start to surge in terms of your following on that platform?
So 2 specific videos, really. It was actually 3. It was I was in the parking lot of a Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just kind of like pissed off today because like I was going there, traffic was slow. There was like just all these out of state plates, and I was like, you know what? Just things that Massachusetts people like don't like. And it was just like traffic, potholes, the Lakers, like, you know what I mean? It's basically just like any Los Angeles team and the Yankees. And I was just like, all right, so I'll post it. So like that one started it. And then it was the California roommate really helped it take off, like teaching him like mass names. And then if Harry Potter was a masshole.
I saw that one. Okay.
Those were like the 3 that like got me the main like chunk of like followers.
Yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, I will say this too. From what I mean, like that whole like kind of outsider kind of coming into Massachusetts thing, that is like, it kind of does extend beyond TikTok. Cause like, I remember like maybe like 5 or so years ago, BuzzFeed like did a thing where like they brought in people from like outside of Massachusetts, and they would have them pronounce, they'd have them pronounce like the town names, and it would just be like Haverhill, and it would be like, no.
That's the thing, dude. It's just like the names are just so ridiculous here as far as that goes. Like I understand why people from out of state have an issue pronouncing stuff, but like it's bad. It's bad.
It's really bad. But obviously on your account, one of the main things that you have gotten really into, lately, when the sports were going into was the Boston sports and, everything going on there. I saw kind of after the Celtics and Bruins, you kind of took a bit of a hiatus, kind of probably mourning that. I don't blame you. Yeah, that was very disappointing to see.
It was rough. I mean, it was 2 very promising teams. And like last year I thought the Bruins were going. And then like, I don't know, just 2 years in a row, I was like, I need to take a week off.
I don't
some self-care.
Yeah.
But yeah,
dude,
that was rough.
Yeah. I remember during game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, I was a senior in high school, and we had just lost in the semifinals of our playoff game, and we were the 1 seed going into our playoffs, and we ended up losing to like our rival school. And literally we had so many hockey kids on the team. It was just like, all right, guys, tough season, but let's see the Bruins do it tonight. And we all turned on ESPN, and they're down by like 4. It was like, oh my God.
That's just a rough day right there.
It was terrible. Like that was like the worst night of our lives.
That's unfortunately the Bruins have kind of choked a little bit.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Just a little. I mean, listen, playoff pasta, he turned it on towards the end, but we got to see a little more out of it. But I have some kind of memories of when I really got into it. But when did you really become like a big Boston sports fan? Were you kind of just born into it, or were there like certain players like?
Yeah, so I mean, my grandfather and like my uncle, like I come from a baseball family. Like,
okay,
they were exceptional in high school. Then, like, unfortunately, my grandfather ended up, getting drafted, so like he had to go to war. But
okay, wow.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't know. I've always been very like into baseball more so than other sports.
Mm-hmm. It's
kind of shifted. Like now I'm more into the NBA just because of everything that's going on. Like as much as I don't like super teams, like it's extremely entertaining. So
it's always constant drama. That's what you can always get out of the NBA.
Exactly. So it's like entertainment on entertainment. And but yeah, no. So I mean, since I can remember, I've been a Sox fan, and Bruins and like Celtics started like later. So I was probably like elementary school when I started actually playing the sports.
Yeah. I mean, what were you kind of like, what were you kind of playing when you were younger? Like what was the
baseball took like 90% of my time just in general. Like if I wasn't like eating or sleeping, I was playing baseball.
Okay. Yeah.
And then in high school, like,
I was about to say, I saw the flow, and I was assuming possibly some hockey in there too.
No, dude, I can't skate to save my life.
Really? Yeah, I
skated like twice, and like I ate it and slid, and I was like, all right, that's not for me.
Nice.
It's too hard of a surface. So like, at least there's grass in baseball.
Yeah, I mean the flow could still work on the diamond too. So
this is definitely the longest I've had my hair in a while. Yeah, got a lot of lettuce, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, dude, baseball definitely took the priority. And then like after high school, I tried it in college. Like I went to a community college, and I tried out, and I was like, I think at this point, like I didn't go straight from high school to college. So I like took 2 years off to just work.
Okay, yeah.
And then by that time I was like, I lost it. It's not for me anymore. I can't do it. And so like, but I mean, as far as that goes, like, yeah, baseball was top priority in my life for a long time.
Same here. As you can see behind me.
I was gonna say, I know. I like all the.
There goes the clapper.
That's crazy.
It does it by sound.
It kind of scared me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it scared me too. I was like, oh my God.
That's awesome though. Yeah.
Sometimes if I sneeze loud enough, that thing will go on and off.
That'd just terrify me.
It terrifies me. I'll just like, I'll be suffering from an allergy attack, and you'll just see the lights flickering. It's like what the hell is going on in Brian's room?
Just a rave right there.
Oh yeah, it's great. But obviously being a giant baseball fan, I'm assuming that the Red Sox and Big Papi and Pedroia, those were kind of big guys.
Definitely.
Were there any other guys that you were big on?
Nomar Garciaparra.
Okay.
I was a huge Nomar fan, and then because he had OCD, like the glove thing, the batting. So like me, like as a kid, like having OCD, and like obviously still do. You don't grow out of that really, but. Yeah, I was like, oh, cool. Like, it's actually like, it's okay. Like he gets praised for this. Like, they make fun of him, but like the gloves. So like I started doing that too. And I got shit for it in Little League, dude. I'm not gonna lie for it.
They're probably get back in the box, Nomar now.
A little bit, yeah.
Listen, I mean, it worked. So you can't hate on it.
I mean, no, dude, I couldn't hit. I needed glasses.
I was talking for Nomar.
Oh yeah, no, it worked for Nomar great. Unfortunately, not for me. I couldn't see. I was I was all field and like couldn't hit. But
yeah, well, you said glasses. Same here.
There you go.
Yeah. I just don't wear them during the show because I'm up close to a camera.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fine. Like I wear mine to drive, and that's about it. So
yeah, nice.
But yeah, I mean Nomar, and then definitely like I loved Coco Crisp.
Really?
Like Coco Crisp, yeah. Growing up, watching Coco Crisp was just great. And like Ichiro Suzuki, dude. I know he wasn't on the Sox, but like he was just so entertaining to do, like climbing the wall to like rob home runs was just nuts. So I was like, I want to be like that.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
But yeah,
Ichiro was a
definitely
monster.
him and like Big Poppy, obviously, and you know, even like Bill Miller, dude. Bill Miller was a hell of a third baseman.
Oh yeah,
So
he was.
like,
I mean, batting. He won the batting title like in the
yeah,
9 hole. Like,
yeah, which is crazy.
yeah,
But
no, he was electric.
he really was, dude. That whole team, I just can't can't hate on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those were definitely like the baseball players that I looked up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, my favorite players in sports. When I would do it, I would do baseball and football. My favorite players were Dustin Pedroia
Yep.
and it was Rob Gronkowski. Obviously, obviously Gronk when I was now I'm like 20 and he went to Tampa,
Mhm.
but I don't really even think about that now. I
Mhm.
feel bad for my brother when he was like 6 years old, or like, probably maybe like 10 or something like years old. His two favorite players, like for those sports, it was Wes Welker, who ended up leaving us, and Jacoby Ellsbury.
So again, like,
So yeah, some
yeah,
low blows for him. He kind of got it rough where I had two players that were kind of like dedicated to the city, and then he got the two ones that like left to go join our
it's
rivals.
yeah, yeah,
So
dude. No,
I felt
Ellsbury
bad
leaving
for
was
him.
tough. That was a blow.
Yeah,
That sucked. But
yeah. We tried throwing in a beat up Grady Sizemore, and that did not end well for us. It was awful.
unfortunately, yeah, dude. No,
Yeah.
yeah, and then like obviously like other sports like basketball, like Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Steve
Oh yeah.
Nash, like all them. But
100%.
yeah, dude, no.
But yeah, I guess before we get into, like anything NBA wise,
Mhm.
what would probably be your favorite kind of like Boston sports memory? Like, is there like a certain memory that like sticks out in your
Yeah,
mind more than anything? What would it be?
obviously them winning the World Series in 2004. I remember being
Okay.
in sixth grade, and
Really?
I remember it being like, I don't know, 11:30 or so at night probably. And I just remember like staying up and then being exhausted the next day from watching the game. But like, I think all time Boston sports moment was Dave Roberts in the ALCS
Okay.
2004, like game four, the like first the Yankees. That
Yeah.
like stolen base, dude. I still get chills just like thinking about it. I don't know. That moment will forever just be ingrained in my mind. Like I can hear the announcer, I can hear everything, I can see everything. Like I love that moment. That was top tier for me.
Yeah. I still go back and I still watch it on the 4 days in October 30 for
Mhm.
30, and it still has the same effect, which is insane.
It really does, dude. And like you know what happens too. Like
Yeah.
obviously, and it's like it's still just like
It's just like, is
always
Posada
so
gonna get the
surprising.
throw
Yeah.
in? It's like, what's gonna happen?
Wait, it changed?
It's like,
Like
what?
it's just nuts. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, that's definitely a good one too. Obviously, for me, when I did, let's see, I had some pretty good ones too. I was probably about in sixth grade too when the Boston Marathon bombing happened in
Mhm.
2013, and
Yeah.
then they ended up winning when I was going into seventh. So that was kind of my whole situation, and that was a great memory of its own. I mean, another good memory I remember was, I think I was a sophomore in high school, yeah, because I was taking algebra 2 at the time,
Mhm.
and it was when the Patriots ended up winning Super Bowl 51, and the whole kind of magic that went on with that.
Yeah.
I remember just like you, I woke up the next day absolutely exhausted,
Yeah.
and I went in and absolutely bombed my algebra 2 test because I did not study one bit. I was like, you're seriously gonna have an exam for Monday? And he's like, yeah. I was like, come on, man,
That's
don't
just
do this.
inconsiderate at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean, I knew I was gonna fail it. Like I'm literally
Yeah.
watching the game. I watched the game just being like, I know how I'm gonna do tomorrow because I'm watching this, but I don't
Yeah.
care. I hope the Pats win it. And I remember about that, going into that game. For a long time I worked as a referee for like youth flag football,
Oh,
and
sick.
that Sunday was the first time I ever did a flag football game, and it was like the first game I ever refed, and they gave us like this metal whistle, and I remember I didn't realize how loud the thing was. Like I didn't realize that you could like blow into it like super softly, and like it would make a loud enough
Yeah.
sound that the players could hear it. So like I'm in the end zone, like doing it like I'm in like a stadium of like 55,000 people. Meanwhile, I'm blowing my own eardrums out. So I get home from the game and I'm just like, it turns out I gave myself like temporary tinnitus where my ears were just ringing.
Oh God.
I'm just like hearing like that kind of sound in the ears. And I'm like sitting there being like, oh my God, what is happening? Like I was taking like Tylenol, anything, like nothing was making it work.
Yeah.
And I'm literally watching the game, and for the first half, the Patriots are getting absolutely slaughtered. And I'm just like, this blows. Not only the Pats are probably going to lose this game, but my head is killing me.
Yeah, dude, that's
So
rough.
so I remember I literally went up to my room. I'm, up here. I'm laying on my bed just with the lights off, just being like, this is awful. But I'm like checking my phone, and I literally said to myself, I was like, all right, if they score a touchdown, I will go down and I will watch the rest of the game. If they do not, I'm just going to watch on the updates because I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I ended up just seeing the update that James White scored. I was like, all right, I'm going to go down, and thank God I did, because I ended up winning it. If I fell asleep, I would have never forgiven myself.
Yeah.
And and that ringing in my ears, so I ended up getting that on like Sunday, like of Super Bowl Sunday. That lasted until like Thursday of that week.
That's horrible.
I just had constant
that
ringing in my ears.
Sucks.
It was terrible. And then like by the time like they got better, it was like, all right, got a ref again this next Sunday. I'm like, oh, I was like, oh no.
That sucks, dude.
It was terrible.
Did someone finally tell you though, or you're just like, no, dude, don't blow it in like too hard, or is it just like?
No, I mean, eventually I just figured it out, and
Yeah.
I think we ended up. I think I don't think that was supposed to be the whistle I had. Like, and we ended up just getting like these plastic ones that like were not as loud.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah,
that sucks, dude. Damn.
Oh, dude, it was terrible. Now with COVID, they basically just give us these things. They're like dog toys. They're like squeeze whistles. I probably have one on me. I was I was mentioning to you before the show. I was doing a summer camp today.
Yeah.
So I ended up bringing this over to the summer camp. If it's in here, I will find it. But it was like this COVID like friendly whistle. And if it's not in here, then I have no idea what I did with it. But I'm pretty sure I put it in here. If not, then we will figure it out. Oh no, here it is. This is if you guys can't see it, yeah. So. And this is what you had to do during COVID. You couldn't have a mouth whistle, so you had to use this thing.
I'm honestly like, that's such a good invention.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
I wish I invented that.
Yeah, no, like it's just like really like I couldn't have thought of this. It's like, bro,
that's actually genius. Like I'm impressed at whoever invented that. That's like really smart.
That's what I'm saying. Like whoever came up with that it was probably just like some dog toy company. It was just like, hey, we have an idea.
Let's go.
Exactly. But dude, obviously those memories, while I was in pain while watching Super Bowl 51, obviously the reward of seeing them score and seeing Brady win his 5th title, that obviously will have a place in my heart forever.
Oh yeah.
But 2013, was a great year for me because that was probably the first year I really got into baseball. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I really was never like too big of a, sports fan. Because like you, I did not know how to hit for the longest time. Yeah. Eventually, come like 7th grade, I finally took baseball lessons, and I was like, okay, maybe I can get the hang of this. Yeah. And by high school, like I figured it out enough that I was able to like be on varsity my senior year. But like it was like ridiculous where, for a long time, like I was not into baseball whatsoever because I just hated it. I played for a long time, but I hated, just playing it because I was just like, I'm no good. But then yeah. But then 2013, I finally, that was actually the first year where I really actively watched baseball, and seeing the Red Sox go on that run, that was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that's the thing, dude. Watching like baseball is so much different than playing it. Cause like even playing it, there's some like spots where you're just like, I played second base. Like in Little League, not too many kids hit it to that side of the field. Mm-hmm. And like, so I was bored like half the game, but like, yeah, dude. So it was like, watching baseball is just so much. It's a lot, but like, yeah, dude, it's like as soon as you like start following it though, it just comes addictive.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I mean, dude, this season's been incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you want to think of all the storylines, Shohei Ohtani, Jacob deGrom, like there's been so many insane storylines. And I think that probably is like a good transition for us to probably, I had NBA slated first, but I think, getting into some baseball, I didn't have this on the script, but I mean, just in general, man, baseball this year has been insane so far.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like the storylines. I mean, my friend is starting to get sick of seeing Shohei Ohtani and Fernando Tatis Jr. getting marketed all the time. But I think that's an MLB problem that they don't know how to market their players. Mm-hmm. But you're seeing like all the stuff coming out about the whole foreign substance issue, like all this stuff going out. What do you think about that whole thing going on?
I I don't know. I mean, obviously, like cheating is cheating. Like,
Yeah.
don't do it. It's
Yeah.
but it just like it's crazy how much little of something can change like the
Oh yeah.
entire rotation or anything like that on a pitch. So
Yeah.
like I don't know, dude, the players are getting crafty though. Like that's the thing. Like the catcher, I would have never thought to look on the catcher's mitt.
Oh yeah.
So like just a little bit and then throw the ball back to the pitcher. Like it's still on there. I
Mhm.
never would have thought of that. And then like all the photos came out and I was like, oh,
It's
okay.
bad. No, I mean, did you ever see the video? I mean, do you remember the viral clip of the ball sticking to Yadier Molina's chest protector?
Yeah.
That's kind of coming back into light now, which is kind of hilarious because people were like, did the laces get stuck? Like, what happened? And it's like, oh, it was illegal substances. Makes sense.
Clearly. It's
It's
like,
like
yeah.
it's like why did that not come to our heads? But it's like, okay,
I think
that's what I am having that guy on the show. Like I think tomorrow or whenever
Mhm.
I'm gonna record it. That's actually like the main focus of his channel. Like he's a big baseball fan, but like the main focus of his TikTok account is like him like exposing like these guys
Really.
that like do the stuff. Like he'll like zoom in on like gloves and he'll be like, you see that right there? That's where he hides his pine tar. It's like yep, this guy's cheating. This guy's cheating. He's like DeGrom, clean as a whistle. I'm like, oh
Which
my
is
god.
scary in itself.
Yeah, I mean, if
Because
DeGrom
like
was
dude's
using stuff,
dominant.
that'd be insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's dude, hands down probably one of the more dominant players of like the past like few years, but like it's just ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
Dude's so
insane.
good.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
mean the substance is like, it was one thing with like Sammy Sosa, like corking the bat and stuff like that, like way back in the day. But I mean, you're literally affecting every single pitch. It's not like it's
oh
just
yeah,
when he's up to bat that it was like, it's like everything, which is crazy. It's like,
yeah.
at what point do you kind of think like, all right, no, I'll get caught?
Mhm.
But I don't
Yeah.
know.
What the exciting thing to see now is to see when they start enforcing it. Are we just going to see hits go through the roof now? Like, what is going to happen?
That's a good question. I never thought of that. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if all the rotations go down, like, what happens to like these like great pitchers that were paid like so much money, like a Garrett Cole who got $300 million from the
Oh yeah.
Yankees? Like, is he going to turn back into the guy he was in Pittsburgh? Like, what's going to happen?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I
He
feel
wasn't
like
terrible in Pittsburgh.
no,
He was solid in Pittsburgh, but like, you think of the
he
guy
wasn't as
he was
dominant.
more of like a
Yeah.
ground ball, like traditional pitcher,
Mhm.
could get the strikeouts, but he's turned into this guy who gets like 14 strikeouts a game and can just blow it by every guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and like that's the thing. Like it's definitely gonna show who is like good and who was like, all right, they were decent and then needed the extra like boost.
Yeah.
But like it's definitely just gonna like cut people.
Oh yeah. Which I think is, I mean, you were saying it's going to like separate like the goods, like the kind of okays from like the goods and the goods from the greats. That's
Yeah.
kind of like what the steroid era did. Now I don't know if I'd equate this necessarily to steroids. Now other people would disagree with me,
Yeah.
but I mean, we're going to see a big difference, and that's what's pretty interesting to me.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and like that's the thing. I remember like I was on vacation when Barry Bonds was doing the whole like chasing like, Hank Aaron
Uh,
and stuff like that. And I remember like, someone yelling out of the hotel room because I was by the pool and someone was just like, he just broke it. And like I just remember like, okay, but like I know you still gotta hit the ball if you're taking steroids, but like the dude gains so much like muscle in
did
like
you
an
see his
off
forehead?
season.
It was
Yeah.
so bad.
It's like, how can you not tell this guy? Like there
Oh
should
my
be an
god.
asterisk on that, but like
Oh my
it's just, I
god.
don't know. It's crazy. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the one thing that does concern me is that you're looking at the jump in spin rates from
Yeah.
2020 to this season, and it goes the Dodgers, who are the World Series champs. So, I mean, that's not the greatest thing if you're seeing
Yeah.
them kind of get better and adding more things to their repertoire. I mean, I know Trevor Bauer is one of the guys that went over there, and while he was originally blowing the whistle on it, he literally said, "All right, if you guys aren't gonna police this, I'm just gonna use it. I'm gonna win a Cy Young," which he did. Uh,
Yeah.
but now you're seeing but then it's in second place it's the White Sox, who until the Rays and all these other guys came along, they're surging this year in the AL, and they're making some moves too. And then in third place in terms of increased spin rate, it's the Red Sox. So that's what makes me nervous, because we were
Yeah.
seeing a lot of guys overperform this year. Nick Pivetta, who I did not think was even going to be in the majors,
I
like he's looking good. I
yeah.
mean, you're making Martin Perez. Perez Day is actually becoming a thing again. I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
god. So I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah.
bro, if like these guys are all using stuff and like we just go down the tank, oh boy.
And that's like it's a huge possibility. And like it just take it with a grain of salt. Like,
yeah,
until they start enforcing it, like you never know who's actually doing stuff and who's gonna fall off. And like it's scary.
Yeah,
Because like, yeah, like you said, it could just all go down the tube and like there it is. That's, you know, it's like last year. Hopefully not, but like
yeah. Well, without a doubt, though, we can just say that Eduardo Rodriguez is not using stuff this year.
Yeah, no,
clearly
it's pretty safe.
Yeah, I'd say of all the people on the staff, he's probably the safest guy.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, he's been really disappointing this year, unfortunately. I mean, I know he's coming back from those heart complications too, so obviously, I hope that he's all good with health wise. But other guys too that have kind of disappointed the rotation. Of all these. He's doing okay, but for the money we're paying him, he needs to be stepping it up a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, the other guy that we need to see how he'll do once he gets back to the rotation is Chris Sale. He's currently rehabbing with the Worcester Red Sox.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Have you been to a Worcester game yet or no?
I haven't. No.
Yeah,
no.
Dude. The stadium is amazing.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's awesome. I had this guy explain it to me, and like I've been there twice, but he had the perfect explanation for it. He said, the seating capacity is minor league. Everything else is major league level stuff. It's amazing. And the thing that's cool about it too is that they took like local restaurants from like inside Worcester. Like they took the Wonder Bar Pizza. They took I think it's like BT's like Smokehouse. They took Coney Island hot dogs. Like they're like all those stands around the ballpark. Those are the food stands there, and it's sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's actually really cool.
No, I haven't been to a game in a really long time, honestly. Like I've been trying to get like yard goat tickets for like, that was like when they first like came out. I was like, I want to go to that stadium because it's cool. Like I drove past it like one day and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And like they sell out immediately. And then like I didn't even like, I don't know. I think the last game that I was at was probably like a Paw Sox game.
Yeah.
And that was like years ago. So like it's been a long time. Unfortunately.
RIP to the Paw Sox, dude.
I know.
Dude, I mean,
it's sad.
That stadium was nothing. Like, I mean,
oh god, no.
here's the thing. Once you were inside McCoy Stadium, you had a good time. The walk to McCoy Stadium was terrifying.
Yeah,
like you were scared just of whatever you were gonna see walking there. It was like, oh my god, like, am I going to make it to the parking lot?
It was
Please let me make it.
It's definitely an experience. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To say the least, it's you never know.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Part of the excitement. I like it.
Oh yeah, it always added to that. Now, I mean, the Worcester Stadium is definitely kind of in a better place location wise.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some kids that I went to high school with, different people like that. They're going to the games, and it's almost like a Where's Waldo setting. They're like seeing Chris Sale in the dugout, and it's like there he is. When will he be back? Like he's throwing bullpens down there. So how do you feel about Chris Sale coming back? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited. I've just always liked Chris Sale as a player. Like,
yeah,
he never like throws people under the bus. Like he knows it's on him, and like he'll always be like, no, I need to be better.
Yeah.
And just like you have to respect that as like a player. And 100%. Like I think I'm excited to see what he does. I know like the past probably a year he hasn't been like, I know he opted out for, I think, right? Pretty sure.
He might have opted out because of he ended up getting Tommy John surgery, so I would have been surprised.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I just like I can't wait to see him pitch again because he's so dynamic. Like he can literally do so much, and like just him stepping on the mound affects like the game. So it's like pretty crazy to think like you have that much power over like another team, and like I'm excited to see like what he does this year. Hopefully it's as like he was, but I Tommy John surgery is a hell of a thing. So like you never know what you're getting after.
Absolutely. I mean, not to get like too gruesome here, but I saw like a really like unfortunate storyline. It was like this college pitcher out of George Mason. He ended up getting Tommy John surgery and he got like a blood clot from it, and he ended up dying. It was crazy.
That's horrible.
No, it was awful. I've never seen anything like that. That was terrible. But, like with a Chris Sale and whatnot, like you're seeing all this stuff, and I'm hoping that he can get back to like where he's at. I mean, unfortunately, for Chris Sale, he's always, weighed about 100 pounds soaking wet. Yeah. So I don't know how that helps him in terms of his pitching style. I wish he'd put on a little extra, muscle. I feel like maybe he wouldn't, he wouldn't break as easily if he did that.
Yeah.
But he knows himself best. So he knows his own body with that. And maybe that keeps him maybe like, keeping the pounds off, it keeps him, from actually like aggravating anything. So, if that's what works, then go for it, man. But, I'm just trying to figure out, when he gets back, is it gonna, I've always said it's not going to be this year. It's probably going to be next year when we when we see more of a Chris Sale. But going into this season, we're trying to make a run at the AL East right here. I believe as at the time of this recording, we're ahead by half a game on the Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to be facing them, and hopefully we can maybe extend this lead a little bit. Hopefully we don't absolutely tank it and screw ourselves over. So, I hope that I'm very hopeful for this series. And when Chris Sale comes back, I'm just hoping that he can do something for this rotation, because, there's been a lot of question marks here. And if they're all using illegal substances, like, let's see if Chris Sale can, be a bit of a boost.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the thing, like Tommy John surgery, it takes a while. So I had a friend in college who like got it because he was playing like D3 or whatever, but like I remember it took him, like, he sat out the year and then like he was never really the same. So like I'm a little worried about that, just because it is like a extremely like hard thing to come back and still be as good as you were.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a little worried about what it's going to do to his velocity.
Yeah.
Just because like, he's throwing heat, but like after that, it's, I don't know. It's got to be such a crazy like rehab. I just can't imagine it.
No, it takes a lot. I mean, I know some guys from around here that did it. I know one kid, his name's Sean Burke. He might be getting drafted in the first round of the MLB draft.
Really?
He's really good. He's out of Maryland, and man is a flamethrower. Like he's sick. He lived in my town, but he ended up going to St. John's High over in Shrewsbury, Mass, because he was just good, and like our school would not have been good enough to keep him. So he just ended up going over there. He ended up getting Tommy John his senior year before going off to college, and he still managed to play on the team. He did not pitch. He played first base for the remainder of the season, but he sat out his freshman year, ended up redshirting, and eventually got back into it. And for him, luckily he's doing good with it. But like you're saying, man, it's such a up in the air thing, like where they're getting better with it now, and it's more likely than not that you're gonna see more success stories. But still, man, you never know how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah, and it's scary because like obviously like it's wear and tear at that point, but like just how fast like the throwing motion and stuff will like break down that, which is crazy. I remember like like Bunyoung Kim, like literally the sidearm thing, and I was just like, dude, it's got to be so uncomfortable, but like he never needed it. You know what I mean? He never needed Tommy John surgery because of it. So it's like, I don't know.
Man had a magic elbow.
He really did, dude. That thing was elastic. It was nuts.
Oh yeah, it was insanity. But dude, kind of getting into the Red Sox in general, I mean, people had very low expectations for this team this year. I kind of did as well. And after seeing
how could you not?
After seeing the first series of the year, I was like, oh no. I was like, this is going to be a very bad year. I was just like, are we gonna have to sell off like all our guys? Like how is this gonna go? Like
just clean house, start over.
I mean, what were your expectations going into the season? Because I know mine were low. And how do you feel now that we're actually competing?
A little surprised.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest with you.
I think that's everyone's response.
My expectations were probably at like 70% of what is going on now. Like after last year, I couldn't see them turning it around that fast. I know like obviously Alex Cora's back, but like I didn't see anything good coming out of it, especially like getting rid of Mookie, which still hurts.
Yeah.
But like
Verdugo's looking great, but still hurts.
He is. It's like that's always gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, why did Bill not play Malcolm Butler? Like that's kind of like, I know he wasn't gonna stay, but
yeah, you
gotta try.
Yeah, dude. I will say this about the Red Sox. Like you're saying you're surprised. Here's the thing. I mean, besides 2019, the Red Sox are either one extreme or another. They're either dominating and they're like making that run into playoffs, or they are bottom feeders. The good thing is that, when like it's like, okay, like we know which way this team is going this year. They're not going to be competing for it. All right, they're tanking. The tickets might drop down a couple bucks. Maybe we can catch a game, or they're going to be absolutely dominating. Like when the 2019 season happened, they came in third place. I was like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
And then 2020 happened. They were awful, and it was like, okay, this is just a
this is the Red Sox I know and love. Like That's the thing, dude. Growing up a Sox fan, like I've been spoiled because they've won, several World Series. And but it's crazy. People have literally lived and died not seeing them win a World Series.
Yeah.
And that sucks. But so I don't know. They break your heart.
Oh yeah.
But it's
They
hopefully
break your
this
heart,
year.
Well, that was the story of them. They broke your heart until they win like 4 in 15 years.
And then you're just like, all right, cool. But
yeah,
then it's like
let's go, boys.
Back down a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm hopeful for them this year. I think that, I've talked with, fellow Red Sox fans about it. They're kind of thinking maybe like a 2022, 2023 run is when things get serious. Cause my fellow colleague of mine, he also does a podcast. It's called the Pesky Poll Podcast. And, it's this guy, I know his name's Robert Shelley. And he likes to say right now, we're probably a Kurt Schilling away, like that kind of a piece away right now from probably competing. And, one guy that I guess could be on the trade market now. Don't get me wrong. This would be a lot to get him here, but apparently Max Scherzer may or may not be on the trading block.
Go all in.
Yes, absolutely.
As simple as that. Go all in.
Now, if he was ever available, how much do you want?
Pretty much at that point. Yeah. It's just take it. I don't know how you can stay at that level for as long as he has.
Yeah.
As a pitcher too. Which is something so up and down. You got Clayton Kershaw and stuff like that. But Max Scherzer is just he's consistent constantly.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw kind of falls off every once in a while and just all right, he's
mostly in the postseason.
Yeah, and it's usually in the postseason. But yeah, dude, no, all in on Max Scherzer if that's a thing.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. And if he's the answer, let's do it. Let's run this thing. Because if it goes him and then Sale's back and if Sale is back, my God.
Game over. That's game over.
Oh yeah,
we got it.
Great time.
A little worried about Xander going, but hopefully, too. He seems dude's obviously the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah, things are looking
you
bright,
can't.
Though.
Yeah. So hopefully, we don't do what Mookie, and not pay him and not give him long term and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Guess we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. But that kind of concludes what we have in MLB news. In NBA, I was trying to think with you when we were trying to get you when you were trying to get you on the show. When you said yes originally, I was like, all right, we can talk some Boston sports. Oh, what's really going on in Boston sports right now? I can make some stuff up, and then bam, Kemba Walker gets traded. I was like, perfect. And so, unless you guys have been living under a rock, Kemba Walker got traded to the OKC Thunder. We're getting big Al Horford back, and we got also this guy Moses Brown at 2022 second.
Destroyed us when we played him. So
didn't he have a 20 game on us?
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah. So if he's a future diamond in the rough, welcome to the team, Moses. We are happy to have you.
Definitely.
He's 7'2", and if he's able to do that stuff, if that's the answer to the big man situation in Boston, which I have been begging for the longest time, then thank God. But
it's been too long.
Yeah. But in general though, how do you feel about Al Horford back in Boston? Do you think what do you think he'll be able to do for us?
I've always liked Al Horford.
Same.
Don't get me wrong. He's obviously not the player he was when he first came here.
Yeah.
Just because he's aging, but he knows how to play with those players already, just because he's been here before. And for the most part, obviously there's some new people, but he definitely has stepped back as far as spotlight goes, and he knows who to dish it out to. He knows what needs to be done. And he's just an awesome veteran presence in the locker room too, which is great for chemistry, which I think is generally what Celtics were lacking for a little bit.
Yeah.
You obviously have Marcus Smart, who's Marcus Smart, so dude puts his heart into everything. And but Al Horford's been around, he's older, he knows the game well, and he knows what the team needs, so hopefully that works out. Still sad about Kemba. I liked Kemba just as a person and as a player. Since he was at UConn and everything, you can't not like Kemba Walker. Dude is always smiling. You can't not like someone who's always smiling that.
I loved Kemba Walker too. Yeah. Here's the thing though. I loved Kemba Walker as a person, and even when he was on the floor, it was great.
Yeah.
The problem though with Kemba Walker for me is that, majority of the time I'm turning on the Celtics game and the announcers are talking about how nice his suit is. That's the problem. That's the problem I'm seeing. And I'm just like, yeah, his suit's nice, but what'd be really nice if he was out on the floor dropping like 30 points for us. That'd be great. And, unfortunately the injuries here in Boston, really hampered him. And I hope that, he can go to OKC and maybe have a season that Chris Paul had right there and, kind of rebuild his trade value. And he can, go to a contender and make some moves there. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him here. I'm really glad to get a guy like Al Horford back in the building who really loves the city. And he's admitted it multiple times. He loves the city of Boston, which is great for us. Can hopefully, take away some of the negatives that Kyrie threw at us.
For sure.
That can maybe help balance that out, which would be great. But I will say this about Al Horford. In terms of like a big man, it's not like a Shaq kind of situation where he's known for banging around down inside in the paint and like, that, and he's just going to get knocked around in there. Trust me, Al Horford can do that, but he's smarter with it. He's able to take shots outside. And I will say this about Al Horford. When he was in Boston, if you got him out alone on the three, I did not see him miss.
No.
I can say that. Like, I did not see him miss ever. Like, and I know that's saying something along the lines of like, oh yeah, Brian, like I get it. Like if any NBA player gets open on a three, like they're going to make it. But I'm just like, I don't know. Al Horford, like it did not matter the situation. Like he was knocking those things down. And as a big man, like he did it with such consistency. It was remarkable.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like his mid-range game, or like range. There we go. Mid-range game. Like dude can shoot.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what we need. I mean, if you wanted someone in the paint, like Robert Williams, I'm all in on Time Lord. I love Time Lord.
I was about to say Time Lord. There you go.
All about him. But like, can he knock down threes? No, probably not.
No.
But like, yeah, dude, Horford's a great addition. Honestly, I think that it's gonna work out. At least, it's helped with the salary significantly too, which is good. Like, that definitely took a financial burden off for the most part. Because Kemba's contract was a bad contract.
Yeah, it was a bad contract. I will say this though, when it comes to Rob Williams, my brother, it's him and Christian Arroyo and the Red Sox. Like I'll just be chilling in the basement. My brother will just come in and like when Christian Arroyo does something or Rob Williams does something, and he'll just be like, Christian effing Arroyo, there we go, baby. And same thing with Rob Williams. I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he's just like, Arroyo just hit another home run. I'm like, okay. And he always gets so pumped, and it's like, it's the way he says it. Like if you heard him say it, like he emphasizes like every single part of it. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what is wrong with you?
Like a movie trailer kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's exactly what it's like.
Dude, Christian Arroyo is another guy that you gotta love to root for.
Oh yeah,
like you can't not root for Christian Arroyo.
You can't. No, he's great. I wish him the best. I hope that he's able to, fill. I mean, I don't think he's gonna the shoes that he has to fill at that position. Yeah. Good luck to you, but I'm hoping that, just being a stopgap there, I'm hoping that can work for us.
Oh, for sure.
But, also in Celtics news, obviously the other major shakeup with the Celtics was in their front office. Danny Ainge is no longer here, and Brad Stevens, the Kemba Walker trade was the first trade of the Brad Stevens era. It makes a lot of people wonder, whether this is a trade Danny Ainge would have made, because he spent the money to go get a guy like Kemba, and Danny Ainge was kind of known for sometimes not always making the moves when he had guys, when he had the chips like that, and you had a lot of assets, probably could have moved a bunch of them to get some guys, and I'm wondering, I wonder whether what would have happened there, but. The other major, decision that has to come down at this point is what are the Celtics going to do on the coaching side? Because, with Brad Stevens going to the front office, what are we going to do here? Now, I guess the coaching search is allegedly down to like 3 or 4 candidates that are going to come back for like secondary interviews. I guess lead guy right now is this guy. His name's like Ime Udoka. I haven't really heard of him, but I heard it was Woj. He was talking about him, and he was saying that, a lot of the Celtics players, back like during like the FIBA World Cup or whatnot, like they had played with him, they had been coached by him and stuff, during that and on Team USA, and they really liked him. So, that's a potential look right there. I don't know, I don't know too much about the guy, unfortunately, and how much he'll be able to do for us. But another guy too, which I do know about, is one Chauncey Billups. He is, I guess,
I'm pulling for Chauncey, dude. I love Chauncey Billups as a player too. Like, dude's basketball IQ was just incredible.
Oh yeah,
like he always knew where everyone was. He knew exactly what to do. Like, I think it was what? Was it 2004? He was
2004 that they
yeah.
won.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like plus he was a point guard, which is exactly what we need. So like,
Yeah.
Obviously if we get a point guard, hopefully, I mean that right there is
We
like
have to.
instant click.
Yeah.
So like, I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm hoping for Chauncey personally, but I think most of the candidates that they're like interviewing will probably be better than Brad Stevens as far as coaching goes, just because like a lot of like the dysfunction that you hear is like coming out now.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
I'm
Pulling
just
for
hoping it
Chauncey.
can keep the guys together, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's the
mean,
thing. I don't want like Jason Tatum to just like jump ship like in 2 years. Like you need to put pieces around him. Like obviously we got Jaylen Brown, but like there's gonna be a ceiling as to like what they can do just because like the development, like Jason Tatum's the guy here now.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jaylen Brown deserves to be the guy as well, because like dude is super underrated.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know if there can't be like two of the guys here. You know what I mean? Like there can't be two like things. Like you look at the Lakers with like Kobe, Shaq, then when they got like Steve Nash and like Dwight Howard and all that, like it was just too many egos.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like
you can even make the case
you
can even make the case with that with the 2004 Lakers. They ended up losing to the Pistons. They got guys like Gary Payton, Karl Malone, and just too many names, like too many kind of guys in that room that wanted to be the guy, and that kind of cost them.
Yeah, and like that's a scary thing, just because at the end of the day, it is a team sport, and you kind of need every single player to be on the same page in order to like get to where you want to be. And hopefully that doesn't happen with Jason Tatum, or hopefully that happens with like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, where they like just become like a absolute powerhouse, like they're starting to.
Hopefully it's the next Bird McHale.
I really hope so.
I really hope so. That would.
There's been too much of a drought for the Celtics right now. I feel like we've had high expectations as far as like where there should have been. But
I mean, you see that picture of Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, and the youngins, and it just makes you think, what if?
Yeah. No, it should have. That should have played out a lot better than
it really should have.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the guys on the bench, we had Scary Terry, we had
love him.
It was great. We should have kept him.
Yeah, see, I love that because like I remember it was like during the playoffs when like he was like starting to emerge and just like absolutely just dominating. And like I ordered a Scary Terry shirt, I was all in, and then like he went like 0 for like 12 or something in one of the games, and I was like, 7. Crap, yeah,
those games, the game that mattered, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then like they traded him, and I was like, oh, yeah, all right. But
that whole situation
coming into his own.
Yeah, that whole situation with the Bledsoe jersey, and then Drew Bledsoe shows up to the game. I was like, I was like, this is awesome.
I love it. I love stuff like that. It just makes it so much better.
Oh yeah, like when he walked in the OG Bledsoe jersey, I was like, oh my god, this is great.
It's got to be kind of hard to find a Bledsoe jersey too. Like, yeah, it's a pretty good jersey to have, especially like after like before Tom, but like. Dude,
I mean, you'd be surprised.
OG Bledsoe.
You'd be surprised how many people are going for the Bledsoe jerseys. I mean, obviously a Brady jersey up here is going to always do more, but it's kind of like a from what I can tell, like the OG Brewski jerseys, like the like the '90s ones always get a lot of clout. My friend Carter, he ended up getting one of those. The Bledsoe jerseys are always big, and then another one I realized that gets a lot of people interested in buying is the OG Ben Coates jersey. Those are big ones. Yeah.
Dude, plus like just OG jerseys are so much better. They're so cool.
Totally. They're so sick. They're dope. But before we do get into NFL news, though, I did want to get your opinion on something outside of Boston sports. Last night, we ended up, rather the night before or whatnot, we ended up seeing Trae Young knock off the Philadelphia 76ers. How are we feeling about that?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Dude, I really hope that it's going to be like, I love the Suns and I love the Hawks. Like, obviously, like if we were in the playoffs, I'd be going for them. But like, because we're not, Suns and the Hawks, those are the teams.
Which for the NBA sounds like a PR nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when the Nets almost, like when they were worried that the Nets were going to face the Sacramento Kings, so they just rigged the playoffs.
Which is just like, unfortunately it happens.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, dude, no, I was I always thought Joel Embiid was a little soft, if like personally, just because of like the previous years, like, he always got flack for like, oh, well, he's not playing because of this and stuff like that. But like the dude went out and just played his heart out this series. And like,
Oh yeah.
you can't knock that. Like you have to respect that. And like, so like I do like Embiid, but like the Hawks took it, dude. I love the Hawks.
Yeah, dude, I have this. I posted a thing on my Instagram today, and it was a clip from the fourth show I ever did of Down to the Wire. And it was, back before we ever recorded it on like our computer, before we ever did anything like that. And we literally just spoke into the radio waves. I thought this episode was gone forever until I went into like a archive and I managed to find like the audio sample of it. It was sick. And it was me and my good friend John Warren. I had him on, and we were talking. It was the past NBA season, and we were talking about hey, what's your surprise pick to do damage in the East? And he goes, I don't know, the Hawks. And we were just like, what? And like I end up checking the standings. I'm like, I literally say on the show, I'm like, John, the Hawks are in second to last place right in the East right now. And he goes, and I think it dawned on him where he saw Trae Young have a 50-point game, and he probably thought the Hawks were more in it than he thought. And he was like, I don't know, I guess the Hawks, because Trae Young dropped 50 points, and then he realized, and he was like, oh shoot. So then we kind of had to like make it up on the scene, and we were just like, it's okay, it's a hot take for a reason. And this year I posted it because, a year later it came true.
And it aged like, well.
Yeah, it really did age well, because we were just like, John, that's one of the worst takes ever. And now a year later, the Hawks are in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Which honestly, you didn't like. How can you see that coming? Like, Trae Young, but like, you didn't think that they were here? No, definitely not.
No, you didn't. I'm really just. This.
Oh no, God no. I mean, dude, just ice Trae.
Oh yeah,
but like
ridiculous.
I'm happy Brooklyn's out, and I'm happy the Lakers are out. That's anything else. Like whoever wins now. At this point, I'm good with it. Yeah, but like as long as the Brooklyn Nets didn't win and the Lakers, like we're good. We're good.
Same here. I mean, I'm. It's just been crazy. I mean, listen, when it comes to Trae Young and all those guys, I mean, I don't know. It's been crazy to see. I'm so excited for whatever is going to go down after this.
Oh yeah.
But it's just been. I mean, the playoffs in general, though, it's just been absolutely wild. And kind of going off of the whole Trae Young thing, it reminded me of back when Trae Young was still at Oklahoma. Like, dude, I remember everybody just hated Trae Young's guts.
I don't know why.
I think it's I think I have an idea why, and it's because people were pinning him to be the next Steph Curry, but they thought he was going to be like a wannabe and he was going to like flame out. So I think people were kind of like on him for that, and they were like, hey, like don't play like Steph Curry. No one's Steph Curry, and it was like when Curry Mania was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
So, dude, I remember I was in my journalism class junior year, and it was the Oklahoma URI game, and we ended up we had like those smart boards in the class where it's like the like touch like boards and stuff, and like in the next door classroom we ended up having someone set up the game on like the marchmadness.com. We were just watching it like on the screen in class, and our teacher's like, get back in here. We're like, no.
Can't do it, sorry.
Yeah, and you were still hearing the F Trae Young chants then, and I think I beat them, but man, Trae Young's been amazing.
He really has. And like the thing is, when he was playing the Knicks, the chants that would like come out were just so
Trae's
mean. Dude, I don't know how that doesn't throw you off. Like oh God, if someone started chanting Elijah is balding, do you know how mad I would be? Like I wouldn't be able to do anything.
You'd be in the stands.
I literally just pretty much. But like, dude, the composure that he had to just like finish that out was incredible.
Yeah,
he's on a whole nother level right now, and like I can't wait to see like what he does in the future.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for him as well. I really wish him the best.
Him, and same thing with Jay Crowder, dude. Jay Crowder? Like
I feel you, Jay Crowder.
I'm pulling for the Suns a little more just because I love Jay Crowder, but like and Devin Booker and CP3, like he needs a ring. Like how many teams has he been on where like he should have gotten something?
I really want Chris Paul to get one. And I find it, I saw a thing where it said it was poetry that Chris Paul has to face the Clippers to see if he can get to the NBA finals.
Yeah, that'd be great. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see how this series plays out.
Me too. Yeah. But that kind of concludes what we have in NBA news. And our final topic of the show today is the NFL, where, I don't know if you were a big video game guy growing up. Were you?
Of course.
Yeah. Were you a big Madden guy by any chance?
Dude, that's literally how I learned like my sevens tables was playing Madden. Yeah,
Nice.
that's the only reason I'm good at like that, like multiplication. It's because
Really?
like I'm not good at anything else. Sevens I got down on pat.
There you go. Nice.
But yeah, dude, huge Madden fan.
Myself included. Now, well, I think the game has taken a bit of a slide over the past couple of years. I still like buying the game just because you have to play with the new players and do all that stuff too. It's great, and it's a great game to play at college when you're just chilling out and trying to do some stuff there. But we recently found out that Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes are going to be gracing the cover of Madden 22. What were your thoughts on that situation coming down?
I didn't really have any. I obviously like they've both been on the cover before.
Yeah.
They're both extremely incredible, like athletes and just people in general. So like, why would you not put both of them on there? Like, how can you choose between the two of them right now? Just because like Patrick Mahomes is absolutely insane, going off. Like he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come.
Oh yeah.
And but Tom Brady just won his Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is unheard of at 42, 43. Like that's crazy. So
yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know it's the MVP edition. So I mean, I guess there might be a standard edition where they have where they end up introducing another cover athlete, and it could be like a guy like Josh Allen or whatnot, or whoever knows. I have no idea who they're going to try to.
I was thinking it's going to be like DK Metcalf. I feel like he's going to be in the running,
or Kyler. They could do Kyler Murray. That could be one. But when it was announced that it was the MVP version, my friend Pat Edwards, who's a Packers fan, it's just like you did an MVP version, you left the MVP off.
Yeah, it is
so mad.
Good point.
But I mean, frankly, because Aaron Rodgers, they don't know what jersey he's going to be wearing. I maybe don't blame him right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm excited to see how that plays out too, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Can't see him staying, but
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's like really funny.
Yeah. And he was just like, I think the NFL just hates him. I think the NFL hates Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, yeah.
They very well could.
They probably do. Probably just because I mean, I've heard a lot of Aaron Rodgers talk, from him and just other individuals, but he was kind of like a Brady before he ended up leaving for Tampa, where a lot of stuff he was more reserved, and he frankly he's more reserved than Brady. He's more kind of a recluse than Brady, where he kind of just sticks back and doesn't like the talk. So it will be interesting to see what happens, because the man hasn't said a word to the public besides that press conference he did with the match, and storylines everywhere. It's been amazing.
Yeah, no, he's you kind of pat on the shoulder for just keeping quiet and staying out of everything. How could you not do that when you're that big of a face of a franchise and stuff like that, and you're potentially leaving because you're unhappy? Oh
my God,
I don't know how you don't just you just shut up and don't say anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been remarkable. I mean, I can't believe it.
No.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
And I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be the one buying Madden 22 this year to play with my college roommates, but
probably not gonna.
because again, it's basically just become a glorified roster update at this point. I ended up getting Madden 21 later on the season when it got cheaper around Christmas time, and I'm just like, oh, why did I do this again?
That's the way to do it, though. If you're gonna do it, don't spend the full amount. You gotta do Game Pass. Game Pass is I just got 2K21 for NBA, and I paid $1 for it because of Game Pass.
That's smart. There you go.
That's smart. That's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But finally in NFL news of today, we're trying to figure out what is going to be going on up in New England. Who is going to be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots? Is it going to be Cam Newton, who I kind of have my questions about, or is it going to be the rookie Mac Jones? I don't know what it's going to be, but it looks like we're going to get some sort of a QB competition going in now. I think Bill, I don't know if he's going to if he's just going to follow the formula of just saying hey, let the starter let the veteran go, and then, we'll give the rook a shot. But, I don't know. I've been hearing stuff about Cam Newton, getting a new passing motion. Receivers were liking it, but Then again, I'm seeing video of him in camp and he's airmailing guys. I'm like, oh my God. So how do you feel about this whole situation?
I think obviously I'm pretty sure Cam is going to get the nod for like week one. I can't see Mac Jones starting week one. I just like, as Bill, just because of Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick, I cannot see him starting him. Which like, I know like Cam Newton was dealing with COVID, learning a new playbook, all that. I'm a little curious to see like what he's gonna do. I kind of hope he starts at least, within the first couple weeks. But competition, like quarterback competition is a great competition to have. Like it definitely brings out the best in people, or it just clearly shows who deserves the starting spot.
Yeah.
Mac Jones being Mac Jones, dude, like he might surprise you. I don't know.
I have no idea. Like people are saying he's the most NFL ready guy. So, if he gets his shot this season, we will see. If they're saying I feel like when they're saying he's the most NFL ready guy, they're, just purposely ignoring Trevor Lawrence. Cause I feel like you just have to at this point. It's like, listen, this guy's just a veteran at this point.
Yeah. Dude's unreal.
We're talking about the other guys. We're not talking about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is already an NFL man. He has proved
pretty
himself.
much. Dude, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
What a monster, dude.
He really is. But yeah, dude, I think Cam Newton might surprise you.
I'm hoping, and I have hopes that he'll surprise, and here's why. And because he was coming off a shoulder injury where and I believe it was his throwing shoulder. I think he got some surgery.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like a Tommy John surgery where it takes a year to get back into it, and that's my hope. But if we see just Cam Newton come out there and it's the Cam Newton we saw last year, I'm just you just got to get it off the field, because if you're not able to throw, if you're not able to, I think have like over double-digit touchdown passes as an NFL quarterback, you can't be
former
the
MVP NFL quarterback
too. And
which
I get that though. I get that isn't what his specialty was, but he was still able to at least throw them back then.
Oh yeah.
So. And maybe even the weapons too of Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. We got some great additions.
They loaded him up.
We really did. So hopefully we can do some stuff like that too.
Yeah, dude. I'm super stoked for it.
Yeah. So we're going into this NFL season. We're talking about like the QB competition, like as if the weapons didn't go there. So I think those obviously are going to have an effect on this team. And I think having that 2 tight end set, we could run maybe more of a kind of a offensive scheme like the Baltimore Ravens have up there with their 2 tight ends. It could be something like that. And it really kind of is sky's the limit right now. I think that if we can get back in the playoff run, that'd be great for us.
Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. Like last year, not even being like in playoffs is just like absolutely like we were spoiled as Patriots fans. You know what I mean? Like this era, it was just completely spoiled. So like for them to not even make it was just a complete failure. But at the same time, like that's still a better NFL record than like some teams like had. So like you kind of take it like for what it is. Hopefully with all the new weapons though, like I think they're gonna go off. I feel like Cam Newton's he's gonna surprise some people, hopefully.
I'm hoping to, and if not, let's get Mac in.
Exactly.
But, my friend, exactly. But my friend Tyler, he's the co-host of the show. He'll come on for some episodes, but he's also a Vikings fan, and he just goes, he goes, seriously, the season that you guys go 7-9, we still have a worse record than you. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, no, that's rough. Like,
no,
they were good though.
They
were good for the past couple of years. So like, good on him.
I just mean, And for me, just being born in 2001, I literally my entire life I lived it. it's like oh my god, and now it just comes back down to earth, and it's like okay, now we have to regroup because Brady's gone. Now we have to figure it out, and I'm hoping that Bill actually comes out with a vengeance and it's like okay, I'm not doing this again. We can't let this happen.
Oh yeah, and like this is what an actual sports team should feel. You know what I mean? Like this is what sports fans like actually feel like. Us being from New England, like. Just we had to get taken down a peg. Like now we see like all right, we got a rough
no one should be exuding confidence for 20 years straight. It's like insanity.
It really is. And like glad that we were a part of it, but like
100%,
this is still new to us being as young as we are, and like not being used to like the bad era of like New England sports.
So
I don't know.
Because I mean, I've talked to my grandfather plenty of times about the Patriots, and he's just like, you want to see them back in the 60s? It was not fun. I'm just like, fair, very fair.
So yeah, we're good right now. We're good.
Yeah. Hopefully as long as we can get back into, at least competitive football, like,
Yep.
and, at least if we can even just flip the 9 and the 7 that we had, the 7 and the 9 to a 9 and 7 this year, it's an improvement. And, if we could just get back to there, we'd be in great shape.
I can't see them not with everyone that we picked up for this offseason. Like, I just can't see it not happening, but
exactly.
I don't know. I'm also extremely hopeful. If this flops, might be false confidence.
Yeah. If this flops, we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But, that kind of concludes what we have in NFL news. And at that point, it is officially time to say that we are now down to the wire, which means that we're going to go through everything we talked about this episode in kind of a rapid fire pace and then send you guys on your way. Obviously, we welcomed in Elijah to the show. Elijah, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was great to have you.
Dude, yeah, no, thank you for having me. And literally anytime, like, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Perfect. I really do appreciate that. And obviously we talked with Elijah about, growing on TikTok, getting a following there, his love for Boston sports and, all of his experiences throughout the years. We in MLB news, we talked about Chris Sale rehabbing in Worcester and, our thoughts on how he'll be once he gets back to the majors. We talked about our surprise about the Red Sox actually being competitive this year. And in NBA news, we talked about Kemba Walker being traded to the OKC Thunder for Big Al Horford and Moses Brown, as well as the coaches searching, as well as the Celtics coaching search coming down to 3 or 4 candidates. And we ended our NBA segment talking about Trae Young knocking off the Philadelphia 76ers to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. One quick thing I forgot to mention: the Eastern Conference, in that series against Philly. What are your thoughts on the whole Ben Simmons situation? Because people are now just coming down on Ben Simmons.
Oh God. I've never really been a Ben Simmons fan.
Me neither.
I do feel bad for him though, just because like you're expected
everyone is now piling on him.
Yeah, exactly. So like you are expected to play at the level that you were like projected to be at. But like, I mean, you're hearing stories about like him not wanting to take free throws, stuff like that. And just like, I mean, you're still a professional basketball player. You still got to hone your craft. Like you still got to work on it. Like you're not at the top yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel bad for him for taking all the flack, but like at the same time,
no, but I agree with you. Like he does have to hone his craft. Like this is the same guy. Like he went to LSU as soon as the basketball season was over. He did not attend a single class again. Went to the gym and just said, "All right, I'm going to grind for the NBA draft." And he did, and he ended up becoming the first overall pick. But that jump shot just has never developed since. And listen, man, you're still a pretty solid player because of it. But but it's gotten to the point where you're 6'10". We have to point you at point guard if you're not willing to shoot the ball. Like it's getting ridiculous, man. Like you got to be able to do like at least the bare minimum. Like I don't know, at least shoot from the free throw line. Like if you can just do that, like you'd be such a better player.
That's all you got to do.
Like we're not asking you to be Steph Curry out here. We're not asking you to knock down threes at will. But like at least don't make it embarrassing when like you step into when you're up top and the other guys just immediately go to the paint. Like make an effort.
That's the thing, dude. Like Embiid is carrying that team right now. Embiid is God. And like he shouldn't have to do that. I like Embiid, I really do. But like he deserves better than Ben Simmons as far as that goes. Like Ben Simmons isn't going to work at it.
Yeah.
What are you going to? You can't do anything about it. But it's like it's bad. It's a bad situation. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, did you see? I put out a post on my IG story and it was saying the Shanghai Sharks potential starting lineup and it goes. I think it was like Ben Simmons, Joe Harris, Kyle Kuzma. I forget the others that I put up there, but it was like a couple of those guys, and I was like that's just foul.
Yeah.
But that kind of. But obviously that was what we talked about in the NBA, and then we wrapped things up in the NFL by talking about Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes gracing the cover of Madden 22's MVP edition. And we also gave our thoughts on the Pats, about the Pats going into the season, and talked about the QB competition between Mac Jones and Cam Newton. The hopes are high. Cam, don't let me down this time. And Mac, please just be ready to go in case, like, please. Like I'm just begging you. Like I know I was saying I was saying we needed some humility, but God damn it, last season was torture for me.
I feel like that was too much.
Please.
That was just too much.
Yeah, no. I mean, especially during a COVID year too. Like,
yeah, we needed something to look up to.
I mean,
like,
yeah. I mean, frankly, here's the thing. For the fact that there were no fans in Gillette Stadium that year, that was probably a bonus.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. That of all the years to not have fans in the stadium, not the worst year.
No, that was definitely the good year for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So no one actually witnessed it. So maybe we can actually pretend it never happened.
Yeah. What season? What happened? Like, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah. What happened? No, exactly. But Elijah, again, I cannot say it enough. I really do thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Mm-hmm. But from Down to the Wire, I'm Brian Costa.
I'm Elijah Boivin.
And we will see you guys